Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the relationship between brand and sales. And the reason why, quite frankly, is because I've been having a chat with a listener of the podcast who is about to step into business for the very first time. So kudos to her. Oh, and if you're a person of faith and you're listening, pray for her because she's stepping into a really, really interesting space. She's moving straight into jewelry. And last time we chatted, I think for her first trial run, I think she's going to need about like 4M. I can't remember if it's 4M or 40M, something like that, sure. Not a bad piece of change that she's going to need to start her business. And then as we're chatting now, she said that dreaded thing that I hate to hear whenever I'm talking to Nigerian entrepreneurs. She said that she is working on her brand. For those of you who've been listening to this podcast, it's something I've been saying it for years and years and years and years and years. Those of you who are brand professionals, I beg no vex, but deep down, you know what I'm saying is true. Because Nigerian business people are obsessed with brand, we spend a lot of time doing brand, a lot of time designing brand, a lot of time thinking brand. And because of that, we never start. That is the reason why I'll be talking to somebody November, December. They've decided on the business. Then when we check in January, we don't enter February because it's January ending. And they say what? They are designing a brand. If it's like that, when will you start? So of course I told her the thing that I tell most people, which is, you know what, this brand thing, put it on pause. Right now you need 4M, I'll be easy 40M. Go and start raising that 40M so that you can begin. If that 40M had you, then see the small change that you can raise so that you can enter into the market, get your feet wet. Just begin to explore. Start like that first. Just be going in. First of all, validate and be sure that this is even a business you want to be involved in. So if total capital outlay now is like 40M, of course, you know how you just raise 40M like that as a first timer. But then maybe from friends and family members, Popsy, Momsy, you're able to raise, I don't know, maybe like 1M. Use that and start trading on some small stones first. At least between now, January ending, and I don't know, March, April, you will know whether this thing is for you, it's not for you, the thing is profitable, the profits are enough. Let me double down, let me raise the rest of the money. Don't waste your time. This brand. So today, what I want us to do, please, and again, those of you who are brand professionals listening to this, I'm not saying a brand is not important. A brand is, but I think it's about time that lots of us get the right perspective on the relationship between brand and sales. What is the relationship between brand and sales? So that's what we're going to look at today. Apologies, I'm making this recording at home. The kids are home, because after school and all that. So there's going to be some noise in the background. Now, my name is Tavershima. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant, and I love solving business problems. That's the reason why I have this podcast. I'm also a radio show host. Then, if you would love to connect with me, you can call, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Also, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or any player of your choice if this is your first time listening to the show. All right, now, so what's the relationship between brand and sales? Since you already know why I'm talking about this thing today. Now, it's very simple. To understand that, let's back up quite a bit. What is the function of a business? That is a very important question that has been posed by Peter Drucker and answered in one of his books. Forgive me, I cannot remember the title of the book. I know that I read the book, and I know that the first time I read the book, I didn't agree with the old man. But as I moved into business, small, I saw that, okay, this old man was actually correct. Now, Peter Drucker says that the function of a business is to create a customer. Sorry, not the function of a business, the purpose rather. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. And you can create a customer by exercising two functions, which is marketing and then innovation. Oh, let me step back a bit. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. Now, some of you will say, no, Peter Drucker is not correct. And I was one of those people because, in my own mind, the purpose of a business is cold hard cash. Make that money. If you had asked me back then reading that book, that is what I thought. When I came across that paragraph, I said, no, Mr. Drucker, you are wrong. The purpose of a business is to create cold hard cash. And I know some people at the time who would have said, no, the purpose of a business is not to create cold hard cash. That the purpose of a business is personal development. That in building a business, you grow yourself, you develop yourself. So that's the purpose of a business. Then there are other people who say that no, the purpose of a business is societal impact. That I've been put on this earth to fulfill my mission, and that my mission is to move generations and inspire this and change the environment and blah 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 blah. So some people say that that is the purpose of a business. Either way, I thought that Mr. Drucker was wrong. But as I continue to grow in business, small, I started to reason it. I was like, okay, Mr. Drucker is actually correct, Sha. Because all these other things that we want to do, for those of us who want money so we can flex, for those of you who want to change the world, but you need the resources, or for those of you who want to develop yourself, and so you're looking forward to the challenge, we cannot change the world or get the money or develop ourselves except if we have a customer. So for this, my friend now, my small friend who wants to enter into the jewelry business, she can be loving jewelry from now to tomorrow, but until she creates a customer who will pay her money, she will not be able to flex. Until she creates a customer who pays her money, she won't go through the process of personal growth and development, because chasing down customers, man, it will make you grow. Let me just put it like that way. Business will make you grow. You can be mature for a while, but business, if you want to do it right, business will make you grow. And then, if she wants to change the world and she wants to change the environment, she got to create the customer, get that money. Then, from that money and influence, she'll be able to change the world. So that's how I saw that my man Drucker actually was correct. Peter Drucker, not a bad guy. And then his writing style is very accessible. So just go and read any of his books. So the role of a business is to create a customer. Now, Peter Drucker says that you create a customer by using two functions. Number one is marketing. Number two is innovation. I don't talk about innovation at all on this podcast because everybody talks about innovation. Now, innovation just means you're making changes and you're making improvements over time. So Drucker says that you can either innovate on the product, that's the thing you're selling, or you can innovate on service delivery. So when you innovate on the product, you're just trying to say, how can we build XYZ? How can we design XYZ? How can we design, how can we, produce better gems? That's back to my friend who wants to sell jewelry. How do you produce better gems? That's the question of innovation. Then you can also make changes in service delivery. So, service delivery now. What would that be now? Okay, changes in customer service. That will be an innovation. Changes in mode of delivery. That will be an innovation. Let's see what else. When you get the point. But there's more than enough podcasts about innovation. So just go and subscribe to anyone out there. You'll be fine. Now, there are not too many of us who talk about sales. That's the reason why I have this podcast. But anyway, remember, we're still at marketing and innovation. So the purpose of a business is to create a customer. You create a customer by exercising two main functions. Number one is marketing. In fact, Drucker says he puts it as number one for a reason. Then number two is innovation. Now, marketing is that business function that lets our potential customers know that we exist, know that we are here, know what we do, know how we can help, know how they can reach us, everything. That is what marketing is. It tells our potential customers, we are here. Motidebe, I've arrived. I'm on ground. That is the function of marketing. Now, marketing as a department or as a mother, marketing has many children or many sub functions. So PR, public relations, is a function of marketing. Branding is a function of marketing. Advertising is a function of marketing. Sales is a function of marketing. Merchandising, exhibitions, promotions, you name it. They are all functions of marketing. Some of you want to argue and say, in my opinion, look, that this is not a matter of my opinion. Whatever school you graduated from, go back to that school. Go to the business admin department, go and pick any book on marketing and read. You will see that what I'm telling you here is true. So stop paying attention to all these social media influencers who start creating all kinds of debates about marketing and PR. Which one is better? What do you mean marketing and PR? Which one is better? PR is a form of marketing. Or they'll say branding and marketing. Which one should you pay more attention to? What do you mean about that? Branding is a form of marketing. But then they'll say sales and marketing, which is better. What are you talking about? Sales is a form of marketing. So for those of you who've been following this silly debates online and you don't quite understand where all the tension is coming from, uh, this is the reason why you're confused. Because you all work in tandem. Marketing is the mother. All of them are the children. So me, as a sales professional, marketing is my mother. You who are listening now, as a brand professional, marketing is your mother. So, in one sense, you can see that this is the relationship between branding and sales. They are both forms of marketing. They are both children of the same mother. So, if you want to understand branding, sales, how they work together to grow your business, this is the beginning of how you get that done. Sorry, one moment. Sorry about that. Like I said, the kids are home, so I had to attend to my son. All right. Okay, yes. Now, I was trying to give you guys how I put it now, the theoretical foundation so that you understand the relationship between brand and sales. And then we'll now figure out how it factors into, how all this factors into, we Niger entrepreneurs, how we should get our hustle on. So, branding and sales now, we have established that branding and sales, they are both marketing functions. In Niger, when people say branding, what they mean is they mean logo, they mean font, they mean color, they mean palettes, they mean design, they mean texture, they mean brochure, they mean, all those things. So in Niger, every time you hear branding, that is what people mean. By the way, branding has a bigger meaning, but we'll talk about that later. But for the purposes of this podcast, this particular segment, when you hear brand, that is what people are talking about in Niger. They mean what is your logo? What is your font? What is your color? What is your design? What does your brochure look like? What does your website look like? Have you rented office space? What is your layout like? Blah, 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 blah. That's what people mean when they say branding. Now, sales or selling, on the other hand, is what goes on in one-to-one interactions. You're face-to-face with a potential customer, or you're ear-to-ear on the phone with a potential customer, or your keyboard to keyboard typing with a potential customer, DMing with a potential customer, DM with a prospect, DMing with a contact. If you're in that situation and you're trying to facilitate a purchase, or you're trying to build trust, then you're doing the function of sales and you're doing the function of selling. Now, with this in mind, seeing that they're both paying attention to two different things, why would people start pitting them against each other? There's no competition. These two things are important. Let's go back to the Niger idea of branding. Your logo is important. Your font is important. Your color, your palette, your design, your texture, your website, all of that is important. And that has nothing to do with when I am face to face with a potential customer. Hope you guys are like you get where I'm coming from. The website design doesn't have nothing to do with when I'm talking to a potential customer. It's a separate something. But they are both important. Now, this is the reason why they're important. To understand why they're important, and we need to explore the Oyibo concept of branding and sales alignment. Because they also talk about sales and marketing alignment. But let's just talk about branding and sales alignment. Remember, we're going to use the Oyibo idea now. Because as far as I can tell, Nigerian practitioners, like we haven't given much thought to it. Everybody keeps on going along with this whole thing of sales and marketing alignment, assuming that sales and marketing are separate things. So this is the idea behind the Oyibo concept of branding and sales alignment. Now, Oyibo people say brand is important because the brand breeds familiarity. People know you, they feel you. Familiarity will breed trust. Like, okay, been seeing these people around, we trust them. it will breed some recognition. And so because of that, it will be easier to close the sale. And yes, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. If I'm coming to sell Coke to a wedding venue and I come with three brands, I come with Coke, I come with Biggie, then I come with Okechukwu and Sons, you know, every single event hall. Well, I'm using event hall because after legal practice and after civil service, I started as a wedding photographer. So every single event hall in Nigeria, every event hall knows Coca Cola. Now, some event halls will know Biggie because Biggie is making some inroads. Like Biggie is in Lagos, Biggie is in Abuja. I notice that when I'm in Makudi, I don't really see Biggie. And I know one or two people in the East, and it's not as if Biggie is like. I don't know. Let me just stick to the one I know. Biggie is in Lagos, Biggie is in Abuja, and then but Biggie is not really in Benue State. I've not seen it in any shop. I drank it in somebody's house, but seeing it in the shop I didn't see. Then the last one now is Okechukwu and Sons. Let's just assume that it exists. Nobody knows Okechukwu and Sons. So if me as a salesperson, I'm trying to sell my drink now to the wedding hall or to the food establishment or whatever, so that they can be keeping drinks. Coke will be easier to sell than Biggie because Coke, everybody knows Coke. Biggie will be easier to sell than Okechukwu and Sons if Okechukwu and Sons is a brand new cola drink that has just been recently launched. So the Oyobo concept of branding and sales alignment is on point. It's perfectly correct. It's correct. The brand will make you more familiar. The brand is going to make people trust you. The brand is going to give recognition. That recognition will make it easier to close the sale. So, this is my warning to Nigerian entrepreneurs. This whole process that we've spoken about now, the Oyibo conception of brand, takes time to build. It takes a while before you become a familiar brand, before you become a trusted brand, before you become a recognized brand. That takes time. Because brand is not just your logo, and brand is not just your font and your design. There's plenty of things going on underground, and those things take time to build. The brand is the sum total of all the interactions that customers and members of the public have with your business and this fledgling brand that you are trying to build. So, if building a brand is going to take time, why are you wasting your time with logo and with font and with this now, assuming that is the most important part of your business before you begin? If you want to be a jewelry person, so I'm not sure what people call yourself, those of you who buy and sell diamonds and gold and silver and everything. If you want to be in that business, but now we've established that building a brand, a real brand, will take time to achieve familiarity, trust, recognition, and all that. Why are you wasting time on logo and font and this and this and that and that? You are slowing yourself down unnecessarily. My friend, get your capital, go out, then start selling. The brand will be crafted, the brand will be curated, the brand will be cultivated with time as you interact with people, as you meet customers. In fact, this whole thing of logo and font and everything, is it not when you meet with your customers that you even know the kind of brand you should design? What if you step into the market and then it turns out that you have mostly a northern audience? Is the fact that most of your clientele are northerners, is that not something significant enough to determine the kind of font you use, the kind of color you use, the kind of name you have? Is it not? Please, you should stop wasting your time. Brand people, it's not a quarrel. What you do is very, very important. All I'm just saying is that too many Nigerian business people are putting the cart before the horse. They are putting the brand first before they begin. Meanwhile, the brand is something that comes later on. The one that we need primarily now is selling, because selling because selling is the one that puts you face to face, or ear to ear over the phone, or keyboard to keyboard with a potential customer, so that you can facilitate the sale. So those of you who are trying to go into business now, it is not brand you need first, it is sales that you need first. Brand is important, but don't waste too much time overthinking this. Because let me tell you what will happen. And I hope this my small friend will take my advice. But this is what happens. You come up with the idea in November. You meet somebody on the internet and you talk about the idea in December. And you talk it to a couple of other people in your family in December. Everybody thinks idea is a good idea. Then in January, last week of January, you have a conversation with someone, and then you realize that you spent November, December, January not quite doing anything. Instead, you've been thinking of brand name, you've been thinking of color, you've been thinking of design, you've been thinking of website URL, you've been thinking of registering business name, you've been thinking of all these other things. Meanwhile, from November to January ending, let's just say February, you haven't spoken to a single person. You haven't bought a single stone, a single silver, a single diamond, a single zinc, a single earring, a single whatever. You haven't bought a single one and tried to sell to a single person. So what happens is all of February now will be coming up with business name. Then all of March, you finally register with CAC. Then all of April, you finally get your design down. Then all of May, June, July will be designing website. Of course, we know that website boys never deliver on time. So in fact, you finalize the website maybe like in July or August. That's when you now be launching the business. Something that you decided you were going to do. Eh? In November of 2025, because you're chasing brand, you won't start until August of 2026. If you don't believe me, start paying attention. Look around, your friends, your cousins, your classmates. You see that what I'm saying is perfectly true. The most important thing that you need is sales. Is it a good idea? Oh, cool. Your mentor agrees with you. Cool. Popsy and Momsy agree with you. Cool. All right. Go and sell something. That's it. So thank you very much for listening. Remember, if you'd love to connect, you can call, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080 Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you all some other time.